as a legend after that game. No surprise, given the impact that he had, of course, coming on, playing his first game since that opening match of the season. Manchester City, though, take the victory. Liverpool remain top of the table. However, 2 points then separate Jurgen Klopp's side and the defending champions, who move up into second place. We welcome to the show. Frank Leboeuf joins us. But Steve, I want to start with you. This was some performance from City, wasn't it?
Yeah. The way they knocked the ball around, you know, particularly, although they got the goal in the first half, the way they knocked it around with the sharpness and the movement, and just for probably Alvarez, as much as anybody not having his shooting boots on, you know, Newcastle shouldn't have been in this game. And an incredible last 15 minutes of the first half where they end up walking off 2-1 up. You're scratching your head thinking how this happened, because City were just so good with the ball. Second half, City again. Just missing that cutting edge. And, of course, when you've got somebody like Bruyne, who you can bring on, who produces the cutting edge, basically, then this is bad news for the rest of the Premier League, that not only is Bruyne back, but they've still got Haaland to come back as well.
Frank, obviously we throw in world-class, you know, willy-nilly, but this was genuinely a world-class performance from Kevin De Bruyne coming off the bench.
It was, and the king is back. That's what it is. He showed in a little bit more than 20 minutes how brilliant he can be and how crucial he is. And he showed it the first with a very big finesse on his goal, and what a gift for Bob. Even if Bob controls the ball perfectly and take on the player, the goalkeeper, very well. It's how you dispose the ball to others that De Bruyne is an expert of, and I was absolutely amazed by the fact that after 5 months being off, he comes back and is absolutely crucial. Well done, man.
Yeah.
Round the goalkeeper. You know, for somebody so young and so inexperienced, the maturity and the composure to, when he's confronted with the goalkeeper, wait for him to go down, and then the quick feet left onto his right. I mean, it's a sensational finish.
The most beautiful thing in that pass, De Bruyne is looking the other way. De Bruyne is looking somewhere off to his right and clips a ball that, if it's 6 inches shorter, Trippier intercepts quite easily. If it's 6 inches longer, it probably runs out of play. This, as I say, looking the wrong direction. I mean, what is anybody supposed to do with that?
Frank, you talked about this yesterday, almost the inevitability of Manchester City putting a run together, because we're used to it. That's what they've done over recent years. And you just got a feeling from today's showing they're just finding that next gear.
Yeah, it's true. It's what I said yesterday, because I mean, it's obvious. We all know the story. We know that at a certain point they're gonna put another gear up and they're gonna go for it. And as Stevie said, you know, it's bad news for the rest of the Premier League. They are getting back into what they are, what they normally are at the best. And well, I think Liverpool can fight with them. I don't see Arsenal being a contender. Because they made so many mistakes. The only team we can fight with Manchester City, if they are capable of, knowing that they don't have Salah for a while, it's maybe Liverpool. But really, what we saw today, even if we can say something defensively about Walker, but maybe Diaz on the first goal, Walker on the second goal, I mean, he was so sloppy. He thought he could get Gordon. He should have gone for it like maybe 10 years before. But they're so good offensively. There's so much opportunities all the time. They know it's funny that because I recorded the game because I was on stage and I tried to go a little bit faster, but it's impossible. Every 10 seconds you have something happening. It's crazy. Just you have to watch the whole game at the normal time because it's impossible. They are creating. They lose the ball. They get back into it very high on the field. That's Man City at their best. And when they're like that, nobody can cope with them.
But we've seen it before, Stevie, this season. Manchester City do leave the door ajar to opposition defensively. Obviously, those 2 goals coming in quick succession. Yeah. What's wrong?
I think a lot of it is straightforward. I think Diaz and Ake can't take pace against them. I really don't. You know, before City scored the first goal, Diaz, in my opinion, was lucky. Number one, he didn't get a foul against him, and two, he didn't get booked.
That was on Gordon, yeah, just saying.
He completely took Gordon out and made no attempt to try and run back to get the ball. The only thing he was wanting to do was to obstruct Gordon, which he did. And for me, the only person on the planet that never thought it was a foul was the referee. Ake's the same on the other side. You know, I think teams, when they break at pace, I don't think either the two of them can handle it.
How come they've handled it last year? What's changed?
Well, I think they're starting to figure out that that's their problem. And so when you do that, every defender who is worried about pace will take a step back. And it's the worst thing you can do. Because what you're doing is you're giving the man more time and more space. And so you're in trouble. I think that's the biggest problem they have. They can't deal with it. Kyle Walker has genuine pace in that back line. But unfortunately, he's not closing the ball down properly. But I think absolutely, if they play Ake and Diaz at centre-back, any team that's got genuine pace up front will give them problems.
Do you agree, Frank?
Yes, I do. But even if I think that the players are good enough to anticipate what could happen, but again, if you think they're too strong, or if you think that you're going to easily cope with any situation, you're going to be caught into your own sloppiness, and that's what happened. I would say with just maybe on the action with Gordon, but especially with Walker. So if they work together, and I think it's what happened last year, they were compensating the mistake that the others could make, and they were working as a unit. If they work individually defensively, they're going to struggle because of the pace of the striker they're going to face. But yeah, they have to take care of that. I think it's the biggest work that Pep Guardiola has to do with the guys, because it's really when they don't have the ball that they're in trouble.
We saw 5 brilliant goals, Shaq, today. Which was the best?
Kevin De Bruyne's.
Oh, really?
I thought Kevin De Bruyne's was the best.
Oh no!
For me, and the thing is, De Bruyne picks his ball up, and you don't see any danger really.
Frank, you disagree?
I do. Even if I think that's a pure finesse from, as I said it before, from De Bruyne. But really, the first Newcastle's goal is a pure beauty. Short tackle is a Premier League tackle. You know, that would have been maybe a free kick in France, in Spain, or in Italy. But in England, it's what you want to see. He's perfect. He's on the ball, nothing to complain about. And after, the pass from Bruno Guimaraes is exceptional. The guy sees everything, sees before, serves Isaac, and the control of Isaac, the way he turns, and I think it's Walker, and put the ball almost in the top corner. Everything is a pure beauty for me.
To be fair, we're splitting hairs. I mean,
Yeah.
Oscar Bob's finish is fantastic.
Exactly. And Bernardo Silva.
Bernardo Silva was outstanding as well.
Yeah, high
Really
quality,
good goals.
which Newcastle have been lacking, Shaq.
Yeah.
Obviously, 2 good finishes today. Second half, they just look absolutely shot.
Yeah.
Again.
I continue to believe that Newcastle are trending in the right direction. I think we've been through the worst of their issues, of their challenges, and the team is starting to find a rhythm again. I think Alexander Isak is absolutely key to that, of course, especially the fact that Callum Wilson is injured, so even if he goes down, they really have nobody. But Newcastle are trending. I said yesterday that I felt while Newcastle are trending in the right direction, this was just a step too far for them. And that's exactly how it proved.
Shaq, haven't they lost like the last 4 in a row?
They've lost a lot, yeah.
So how can you be trending in the right direction if you've lost 4 in a row?
They're playing out. This performance is a whole lot better than anything you saw in December. I'm looking purely at the performances from Newcastle. And they go on a run now. I think in the next 12, they've got Villa and Arsenal in there. But the other 10 are games that Newcastle should win the majority of. And I think as you start to see players coming back, and that little run gets together, you see Newcastle start to climb the table. No, not enough. I still don't think they finished top 4. But I think the worst is beyond them. Yeah. But the performances are much improved. And I think the big difference, again, is that tiredness and the fact that City can make a difference off the bench in a way that certainly right now, Eddie Howe simply has no option to.
Give everyone a break for a few days, Stephen, kind of
100%.
and then just go again?
Yeah, no. Newcastle, they just couldn't suck the air in at the end of the game. I mean, that's really... But the desire and the commitment was there, as Shaka said. That's huge. There's definitely a way to lose a game. And if you lose a game the way they did to City, with putting every single thing in, there's not one Newcastle fan leaving that ground anything other than proud of the team.
Right.
They didn't win, but there's nobody complaining. Hey, I don't care who was playing against City, the way they played, they would have got beaten anyway.
And of course, all this from City, Frank, without Erling Haaland.
No.
Yeah, that's what it is. You know, they don't even need him, which is that would be worse. But again, I have to go with the guys about Newcastle. They did what they had to do. They have nothing to be ashamed of because they were working very hard. But you play against the best team in the world when they play like that, and without Haaland, so it could have been worse. But it could have been worse because the goalkeeper, Newcastle's goalkeeper, made like 8 or 9 saves, and we didn't talk about that. It could have been dramatic. Newcastle worked very hard. Haaland wasn't there. It would have been maybe worse, but it is what it is. And Newcastle cannot be ashamed, but Manchester City and especially Pep Guardiola must be very proud of his players.
This, of course, is a split week in the Premier League. You've got 5 games this weekend and then 5 games next weekend. Obviously, we saw Burnley play out that 1-1 draw against Luton yesterday. Meanwhile...